It's the Outlaw Josie Wells. Shout out to Gonzo Films, the Truth series. I go by the name of the Outlaw Josie Wells. Born and raised in Kansas City, Kansas. Started doing music at the age of probably 15, 16. Did my first recording. When I first got into music, man, I was in middle school, man. I went over to my cousin Asia's house, and my uncle and them was in a band. And I went down the basement a few times. They was playing, songs, doing what they do. And then one time I went down there, they had a Tascam 4-track recorder, and they was recording a demo. And I was big on hip hop, so I was like, man, I can come over here and do a demo. And so I called my uncle one day. Me and my homeboys and went over there, did a demo, and it was from there I was definitely thrown into music. Coming up, I just listened to Big Daddy Kane, Biz Markie, King T, NWA. So them type of artists really inspired me when I was a young man to really get into the rap game. Man, the street side of Josie Wells is shit. I'm from Kansas City. I was in the trenches, the projects. I was out there with some of the worst of them. You name it, I did it. We was doing everything any other hood do. Shootouts. I've been shot twice myself. Once when I was 17, once when I was 23. In them streets of Kansas City. So I was out there wild, man, selling dope. Having dope houses. Not listening to my moms. We used to come in the house counting money. She'd be like, why y'all keep counting that same money? She's like, Mom, it's different money. She like, what? But so I was wild out there, man. I was a young kid wild, no father figure. So, I was doing everything, Man, one of my crazes is when I first got shot, man. When I first got shot, man, we used to have this thing called Skate Land in Kansas City. We used to go to every side, like everybody. I don't care what hood you was from, you gonna be at the rink. We called it the rink, Saturday night. And matter of fact, the rink was behind Kmart in Kansas City. And my homeboy had got into it with some cats at the rink. So I jumped in with him, we fighting, blam, blah. But anyway, the following 3-4 days, they see me on 18th Street in Kansas City. Like, we used to hustle on mountain bikes, in the day. We used to sell work on mountain bike. So I'm riding up a mountain bike coming up 18th Street by the liquor store, and they got me. Then they shot me, and a dude that owned the liquor store actually runs out the liquor store, like, oh man, hold up. Snatches me up, take me to the hospital. So, that was one of my probably craziest childhood moments for me. For the good, I already understood kind of like street life because, I grew up in the hood, and I grew up around real cats. So I understood that if you do something, it's going to be repercussions like that. So it didn't make me bitter. It made me more aware, and it made me make sure I got that thing, So that's really what it made me do. It just made me more aware to be, okay, you can get killed out here. When you do things, there will be repercussions. I just knew young. I always done music. Basically the story, just to sum it up, is I had my first studio in high school. So every day after school, everybody used to come to my house and record. My mother was a beautician. She used to be down the street doing hair at the beauty shop. I had 15 guys in my basement. Me, Kata, Horbella, 9MM, Demo, everybody, right? So we'd be in my basement just going in. And so just me doing music seemed to pull in a lot of brothers from the streets. And thus got me really dealing with a lot of cats from the street. Because like I say, we was in the hood anyway, right? And so everybody started hearing that I could do music, I could produce music, and they just wanted to be a part of it. They wanted to, come do it. I was producing. I had made demos as a rapper, but like when I came into the rap game, I was like, I want to be a producer. And so, the first few albums we did with Third World and DEUCE, I produced the whole albums, So it was more of a producer. Because like I say, my uncle was in the band, so him playing instruments influenced me. Like, I'm going to be the producer. I'm going to be the guy that, have everybody else rap. Well, Third World was originally from Jupiter Gardens, the projects. 3-1 was like Third World, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like a third world country out in that motherfucker in the late 80s, early 90s, right? So anybody know, if you was down in the projects in Kansas City, you know, it was rolling. And when I say rolling, I mean, you know, dope was popping and niggas was getting money. So that was already Third World. Now, Moni, I believe, now this has been a while, so he might have a different opinion, but I think Moni actually had that name. And me and Boots and Moni, I think, was gonna do something. I think my homeboy Perry came in it a little later, but yeah, I think we started Third World by 1994. Third World Records later on was owned by me, Kata Anthony Tiggs, and my homeboy Perry Coleman. Rest of dead, God rest his soul, my brother right there, man. And that was basically Third World. I was the producer, and Perry and Boots was just, you know, financing everything. Perry had the studio at his house, so we always recorded at Perry's house. And that was Third World. The album that came out is this Scandalous Kansas, was the project that came out on Third World. And then my homeboy Perry went to the feds, and he basically just told Boots, man, hey, you can just run with it. And then Boots took it. Anthony Cotter, my nigga, y'all probably don't know him as Boots, but Mr. Cotter took it, and then he started dropping his projects on Third World. Then at that time, I went to DEUCE. DEUCE was a company started by B Rich, Yellowbone, and me. And DEUCE in Real Records. See, people that know the DEUCE history know that it was DEUCE in Real Records. Dante kind of had Real Records, and it was like two branches of us. You know, DEUCE probably was just throwing the most parties and doing the most thing like that. But yeah, me, Yella, and my homeboy B Rich. Well, just to, you know, go in the first part. DEUCE was, I mean, we was hustlers, man. You know, like DEUCE was a hustler squad. Everybody on DEUCE was hustling or had to be hustling to be around DEUCE. And I had a song on my album, I say 500 or better to kick it with us, man. Like, we was spending 500 a day, just individuals just clowning, kicking it. But DEUCE, man, we was hustlers, and we knew everybody. Like with me, Yella, B Rich, and I'm even say Dante, because he's still part of DEUCE, Fireboy, everybody. We knew so many people in the town that once we came together, it was like we just couldn't be stopped, man. It was like we knew too many people. We all had history. We all was street niggas. And we all had family. See, Kansas City ain't that big like people think. You know, Kansas City is and I mean Kansas City, Kansas, the side I'm from. I know a lot of people know about Kansas City, Missouri, but I'm from Kansas City, Kansas. And it ain't that big, so, you know, the 4 or 5 of us, man, we knew thousands of people, man. You know, like, and once we came together, I remember when my album first dropped. And I don't know, we even knew, but we had put all the posters on the cars. We had these magnet posters on all the cars, you know what I'm saying? We had SS's, Vans, Camaros, Benzes, everything. And we just rode through the town, man, hopping out, passing out the CD, you know, doing everything. And that was just basically how it took off, man. You know, we was hustlers, we knew everybody, and they knew the shit we was saying was real. I think on the music scene in Minnesota was, I originally came up here in 94. We was hustling. We was going back and forth on the highway, you know, hustling, coming up here, getting money. But as far as music, I want to say probably had to be probably 99, 2000, somewhere in there, 2001. I ain't sure, but somewhere in the early 2000s, man, I was doing bad, man. You know what I mean? I probably was down to $80, $100, and I was like, man, I gotta come up with a way to get some money. And I was like, damn, I ain't getting no jobs. I got talent. My talent can pay me. I just got to find a way of how to get some money out of my talent. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go to Kinko's. And I'm going to make these flyers say I got beats, engineering skills, I can do graphics, etc., right? So I go up to Kinko's up on Snelling and Grand here in St. Paul, right? Boom, sit down at the computer. I think back then it was like 15 cents a minute to rent a computer or something. You know, you give them $5 and they'll give you a computer for 10, 15 minutes. I put the flyer together, so I get the flyer. I'm running around Minneapolis first. I come through St. Paul and I'm going through all the record stores, you know, all the DJ spots. And I'm passing them out the flyer. Boom, hey, I'm Josie Wells, man. I do beats, whatever, holla at me. Boom, boom. And I came to a store in St. Paul 24/7. And I went in there, I was like, man, y'all need an engineer up in here, what's up? And then, you know, so this guy, and I'm gonna tell you who he is later, he was like, oh, you know how to, you know, mix, you know, etc. I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, well, come to the back, let me see what you know how to do. He turned on his equipment, woo, woo, woo. I got the mixing, messing with it, boom, making it sound real good. He was like, oh man, okay. And that was my first job, and the person that gave me that job was Wilkie. You know what I mean? James Williams. Y'all probably know him in St. Paul as Wilkie, and he wrote me my first check, man. And that check, I'll never forget, was $180 for like 6 hours of work. And from there, I never left that studio. Well, you know, coming from Kansas City, it was a great change for me. It was more calmer, it was more laid back, even though, you know, they had their violence and they was putting in work like that. It was just a relief for me, because in the streets, you know, it was just getting hectic. We was doing so much. The feds is running around looking for niggas. So it was just on fire at that point for DEUCE 7. So for me, it was relaxing. It was like, okay, I can come up here and do some music, you know, make some money, and really nurture my talent. Because some environments, some artists can't nurture their talents. And, you know, you keep asking yourself, damn, why I ain't popping? Why I ain't doing this? Because your environment. Sometimes you got to step out of it, then come back in and help it. And so it was easy for me, you know, because I'm a businessman too. I ain't just a, you know, street cat. Definitely business savvy, so business can be done anywhere.